Hello friends and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now we have reached the end of this pack. Today we're going to be watching the last episode of our Feed the Factory series. And I just want to take a quick second to thank everybody for watching and making it this far. The last video I posted has been the absolute most popular single video that I posted at launch time on my channel in about a year. And I just can't believe all of the amazing support I've gotten off of that video. We're climbing over 750 subscribers now, which is totally amazing. And we got over 1,300 views on that video. That's a lot for me as a teeny tiny content creator. So as we're getting towards the end of the year, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching and thank you for all the support you all have given me as I've been growing this channel this year. I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to start off the new year and keep growing and making amazing content. But I do have one teeny tiny request of you all, and that is if you would click on the link below in the description to my most recent community post. In that post, I'm asking what you all want to see me play next, what Minecraft mod packs you think are worth checking out. Now, I've been thinking about going back and maybe playing another round of Sky Factory 4. That's been a really fun one. Maybe picking up Mechanical Mastery or Manufactio, Technopolis 2. Some people have recommended Dungeons, Dragons, and Space Shuttles, a bunch of really great mod packs. So drop into the thread, let me know what Minecraft mod pack you think I should play next. I'm really looking for something that's got a nice little quest line to it and a lot of technology. That's the stuff that I really love playing, but I'd love to be able to do some design and building in there as well. I think that would be super fun. So drop into the thread, let me know what you all think. Now we are getting the holidays and this video is coming out a little bit late, so I just wanted to state that I actually do have a new series coming out that's recorded. I've been playing a brand new game, which I'd never played before, and it's not Minecraft, although it's like Minecraft. So if you stick around till the end of this episode, you can check that out. The new series starts right now, but I'm going to be playing that game in parallel with whatever Minecraft mod pack that you all recommend next. So please do vote and please do stick around for my new series, and can't wait to see what you all think of the surprise reveal. All right, friends, let's dive in. Now, last episode, we got everything that we needed for quantum research set up. We're not automatically producing everything for quantum research, but as you can see, I have in my hand, a whole bunch of quantum research is slowly being produced. Now, I let that all go and run and percolate for a while between episodes here, and now I have myself about a little more than 2 stacks of quantum research. And that means today's the day that we are unlocking the last pieces of this quest for this mod pack. So we are really close to the end. So as I mentioned, here we are. We're at the end of the pack. This is the last quest over here, and we just have a couple of tiers to get there. So first things first, we need to unlock these pieces of the puzzle for portal research. So I already filled in everything but the quantum. So let's unlock these things: the frame, the coolant, and the locator probe. Good. So with those unlocked, we now can start drilling into these other additional elements that we need to make. So first things first, I'm going to pick the portal frame task. We need 1,000 extreme alloy, 1,000 lumium ingots, 1,000 of our graphite ingots, and also 100 device frames. Now, the lumium ingots should be the easiest because we've been bulk crafting those. I've had graphite production automated in the last episode, so we should have a decent amount of graphite ingots by now. And the extreme alloy is probably going to be the hardest one because we need to make our hard carbon and our tough alloy for that. We have enough ingredients, but I don't know if we're going to have to do a lot of extra processing to make the intermediate pieces and how long that's going to take. So let's start with our lumium ingots. So I'm over here at our production facility where we're making all of our lumium, our signalium, and our enderium. So now we can go ahead and grab up a bunch of our lumium here. I think we have enough to hold the 1,000. Okay, we do. And did we complete that without having to submit it? Oh, we did. That's great. Okay. So it says we're going to need this to construct the frame, but I'm going to go ahead and put these all back in here for now. And it looks like I have a few extras. That's okay. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because we don't actually know how to construct the frame yet. That's going to be a recipe, I assume, that we get after we've submitted all of these. All right. So with that in hand, let's go take a look at how our graphite production is looking. And if we are close to having 1,000 of that yet. Oh, it looks like we do have 1,000. We have 2,000. So we'll grab that up real quick. Should that complete the task? Oh, but you know what? I don't think this is how we need the hop graphite, don't we? Right, so for this we actually need coke dust. So let's go ahead and grab up all of the coal coke that we have at this point. I think we have a decent amount. And turn that into coke dust in our crusher. Is that it? The crusher, the big multi-block crushing machine that we have created. And I believe I was collecting coke here. Oh yeah, we've got a bunch. All right. So let's get ourselves... Oh, what's the ratio here though when we crush it? I think 8 coke dust gives us 1. Is that right? Just 1? Well, let's take a bunch of this. We'll take about 1,000 and see how that does when we put it into our system here. So let's teleport over here, and we use this into our crushing machine. Let's go ahead and put all of our coke in there. That's giving our coke dust back out. And then with our coke dust, we put into our industrial squeezer here. Okay, so I think that is, yeah, it's basically 8 to 1 at this point. So that's not super great. So I'm going to have to go get a whole bunch more of our coal coke and use that. Now, the graphite dust we can then just smelt in any of our generic smelting machines. So that's not really worrisome. So let me go get the rest of our coal coke, and we're going to let this run for a while until we have enough. Alright, so this is another one of those that is taking forever. Honestly, at this point, I think the major bottleneck is really my crusher. We have a metric ton of coal coke due to our massively over-engineered setup of coke ovens that we're using for all of the rest of our power production, which you can see about 3 or 4 episodes ago, where we've got like, what, 20 of those, 30 of those, I think, coal coke ovens making all of our coal coke needs. But the crusher is really slow, and it's perfectly content to load all of the ingots in here, but the crushing is actually the thing that's taking forever. So I'm just gonna have to hang out and wait for these to go through. I'm just gonna dump these into my redstone furnace, and those go real quick into graphite ingots. So let's dump that in there, and sooner or later, yeah, there we go. They're gonna start coming in here. So we're gonna let that do its thing. It's probably going to take me a couple of hours for all that to run through, so I'll see you all back here in a second. Okay, we are almost there. I think I just got the last of the graphite dust that we need. So with any luck, this will be the last of it. Oh, and it looks like a bunch had already processed. Okay, wonderful. So there's all 1,000 and change of our hop graphite. We're just going to wait for the rest of this to come in, and then we'll put that into a storage drawer as well. Okay, and we'll put all of those in there. Okay, 1,049, great. Perfect. Okay, so that is the next ingredient now knocked off our list here. So, extreme alloy or device frames. Maybe let's go ahead and make device frames, because we only need 100 of those. And that requires only 100 copper gears. So let's see here, device frame. And let's see, we're gonna have to do that here. 64, and now we just need another 36. It's awfully nice when you have a whole bunch of stock already made, and we have just thousands of pieces of glass and ingots and all of that stuff. Okay, there's the device frames. Let's go ahead and plunk those back in here for safekeeping. And now, last but not least, what is it that we need? Not tough alloy, it's the next one up, right? Extreme alloy. So we'll need 1,000 of those, which means we need 1,000 hard carbon alloys. That's easy enough. We do have all of the graphite for that. And that makes 2, so that's good. So we actually only need 500. And then we're gonna need 1,000 of our, or 500 of our tough alloy as well. Maybe 1,000? So let's see how much tough alloy we have laying around already. Looks like a couple That's what, 200? We can make a bunch more of that. And then our hardened alloy, I don't think we have any in here yet, so we'll have to make that as well. Okay, so back here at our alloyer, I've gone ahead and set up some automation just a little bit so that we can put in multiple items in here without having to tend it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 8 stacks of steel in this side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put 8 stacks of boron in that side. And I've got 3 inputs going into a side at once, so that's not really going to keep up here. It's still going to be a bottleneck, but it's going to be better than nothing for our tiny item inputs. Okay, so there's the last of our ferroboron coming in. Now, while all that's being sucked back through the pipes, let's go ahead and make ourselves a bunch more of the, what is the alloy that we combined? Tough alloy, that's what I thought. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a bunch of stacks of this in here. Let's see, that's 3, that's 12 stacks there, and lithium, we'll just put whatever we had brought with us. It looks like 10 stacks. So we'll have a little bit of overage here on ferroboron, but it should still crank through pretty quick. And there's our tough alloy coming out. So I'm gonna drop my tough alloy that I have in my hand here, and the rest of my ferroboron into the other side, and then we're gonna go get a bunch more lithium to top this up as well. Okay, so there we go. We've got a little over 5 stacks here hanging out that we can use. And then the other thing we need to go get is the graphite that I had put back that it turns out I actually need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that should be about 300 to start. And then once we've done that, I believe our production should have caught up on diamonds again, and we should be okay and won't need to worry for a little while here. So let's put all of our diamonds in there, and then all of our graphite in here, and we'll let this percolate. Okay, so we have 10 stacks of hard carbon and way too many tough alloy. So let's go ahead and grab up a bunch of these, I think all of these. And then we'll grab 10 stacks of tough alloy, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like so. And then let's go ahead and deposit these into our alloyer. And that should make the rest of our extreme alloy. We already had a bunch left over, as you all probably remember from the previous episode. I had made way too much of this. So that's going to cook through here. I went ahead and set up a storage door network for this real quick, just so we'll have a place to put these and we can get them out easier. Okay, so I had to go back and make a bit more tough alloy, but now all of our extreme alloy has come in, and again, I once again made way too much, but we're just gonna clear this out long enough to, yes, complete the quest. And that takes care of all of our portal frame ingredients. Wonderful. Okay, so we're just gonna leave this here, and then we can come back for it at a future date as needed. Now, the next bulk item creation that we need to do is our multi-block capsules. So for that, we need a bunch of machine casings. And machine casings are, of course, made with modularium and copper. And that means we need a whole bunch of modularium alloy. So let's go and take a look real quick at how much of that we have laying around on hand. See here, we've got some 1 machine casing, and here we have 0 modularium. Okay, that's less than great. How about here? No, we are short on modularium. So let's go ahead and grab up redstone from our other facility, and then we can make our modularium. Okay, well, mystery solved. I couldn't figure out where all of my modularium was going, but apparently, between episodes, I had set up other auto crafting that I had completely forgotten about. Because this was breaking down, I set up these machines instead. So this alloy furnace has slowly been sucking up all of my redstone, and I'm just going to tell it to stop doing that now. Or maybe I'll just turn it off here. Because that was sucking all of my redstone up to make modularium. And then that modularium was getting sucked up with all of my copper to make machine casings. And those machine casings are making the multi-block capsule base. So I forgot I had set that up between episodes. And so that has been slowly draining my reserves. So that means when I came back here to look for them, I saw these two and I was like, why are these empty? The modularium machine casings are basically empty. And then I looked up. Yes, I had already made 1,000 multi-block capsule bases, more than 1,000. So that's making just an epic amount. And there is our task completed. So we can actually go back over here and turn off those machines entirely, not just the one that was making the alloy. So let's just stop that. You need a high signal on both of you and just hang out. Just be cool. Just be cool. Okay. So that is half of that, but now we need a capture base. This looks astonishingly simple to capture with a capsule. Okay, so we can make this real quick here. So capture base. Okay. So first things first, we're going to need to make the compass because I know I don't have any of those on hand. Let's get rid of that. And then, do we have everything else that we need? Everything but the torch. We have one torch left in our inventory from previous construction, so that is super lucky. And there is our capture base. Okay, so that is our portal compression all done. Great. So now we need 1,000 quantum probes. Several stacks. This is a lot more than that. So that means we need Plutonium RTG, which we make from Plutonium 238. I don't know if we have enough of that yet. We should have enough graphite for this now. We should have enough basic plating for that. Okay, let's see here. Let's gotta add that recipe. Circuit boards, that's easy to make. We have a boatload of vacuum tubes. And then plastic plates, we are slowly making. I think we might have a couple thousand of those now at this point, especially if we turn off any of our other research production. So let me go gather these up real quick from the various corners of our base. So let's start with the circuit boards. That should be easy enough. To make those, we first need to make vacuum tubes, and vacuum tubes need copper wire and nickel plates. So let's start off with those two things. We're going to do 700 nickel plates, which means we need 700, just to keep the numbers even, 700 of these ingots. So that's going to be a little more than 10 stacks. Let's just grab up that pile and we're going to go drop that into our metal press. Now, we don't have a generic compactor over here. Whoops, I just teleported into the middle of the machine. I don't think we built ourselves a generic compactor yet. No, but we do have our handy dandy metal press. Now, that's going to take a while. So maybe I should make myself a compactor while I'm doing this. Okay, so there's our basic compactor. We can put this down over on the rest of this weird machinery that we have manufactured. And then we'll grab up a bunch of our nickel here and we'll put this in here. Maybe we'll just do like half. Okay, so auto input, there we go. All right, that's slow going. So while that's doing its thing, let's go ahead and make some upgrades for it real quick here. Okay, so we knock those in real quick. And there we go. Compactor's going to go a little bit faster now. It's burning through power pretty quick, but I'm sure it'll be okay. We are making more power over here. It's not a big deal. So we'll just use that, let that go for a second, and we will make a bunch of our nickel plates. I'm also going to go ahead and make all of our copper wire at the same time here. So I'm going to have to go to my other store of copper and make that. And I think that's also, I guess 700 is basically what we were targeting there. So I'm going to go make the 700 copper wire, which means I need 350 copper ingots, if I remember correctly. Is that how much copper wire, if I put it in the metal press? Yeah, so I'm going to go get a bunch of copper ingots and I'll drop those into this metal press and then we'll have our copper wire. Okay, I have my silencer on, but there we go, making our nickel plates and our copper wire slowly but surely, and also more nickel plates over here. So in, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, we should have all of the pieces that we need. So we're just going to hang out and let that do its thing. Okay, so we're getting pretty close here on our nickel plates and our copper wire. So in the meantime, while we're working on that, we're going to need to come up with about 1,000 pieces of copper plates, 1,000 insulating glass as well. And for that, we need, it looks like about 500 cactus green. Now, cactus green is easiest for us to make not from cactus, but leaves. So we need to grab ourselves up about 5 stacks of leaves, which is real quick in this pack. We just need to use our shears on all these leaves, and in just a few short minutes, I should have all of the leaves we could ever want. Okay, so there is our boatload of leaves, and now we have to do is take that over to our smelter and start cooking these down. Now, we also want a good place to store this cactus green temporarily, so we're just going to go ahead and take one of these drawers and use that, and it should prioritize inserting in there now that I've created a spot for it. And yeah, let's go ahead and top that up. Okay, great. We might need to upgrade this drawer as well, but I think we'll be okay for now. So that should cook down, and we should have enough cactus green in a few. So besides the cactus green, what else do we need for the insulating glass? It looks like just pulverized iron, and I started pulverizing iron over here, so we should have plenty pretty soon. And actually, we might need more than that, but I think we're getting pretty close. And is there anything else that we need? Just glass. And we have just a ton of glass over here. Okay, so that should be all of the ingredients that we need. Now, the main thing is that we need to have the right blueprint for this. So I think we need this one. Does this have circuit board and vacuum tube? Yes, it says circuit board and vacuum tube. Okay, so let's make ourselves up a ton of this insulating glass, because we need 1,000 circuit boards for this drone to be able to create it. So that means 500 insulating glass. Okay, that should be easy enough. Now let's take the pulverized iron and do the same thing. Let's put it into a drawer here, and that way our system will have access to it. And that doesn't look like it's enough. So let me go ahead and make a bunch more while we start working on this. All right, so let's grab up our storage remote, and how many of these insulating glass can we make? 1 stack, 2 stacks, there's 3 stacks, 4, 5, and almost a half. Okay, that's a good place to start. Okay, so we're going to grab up our glass. We've already got our redstone in hand here from the other storage location. Let's drop our engineer's blueprint in here and see how many of these vacuum tubes it will let me make at a time. Ooh, a lot. Okay, that's good. So we're just going to keep doing that for a little while here. Okay, so at long last, our copper plates are done. We've got more than enough insulating glass and a bunch of vacuum tubes. So with those, we can start making up our circuit boards. Now, this is going to also take a while here, so we're just gonna have to make all of this stuff by hand. If I'd been smarter and planned ahead a little bit better, I could have used one of our automated workbenches for those, and I never built that tier of machine, the immersive engineering, what do they call it? The automated engineer's workbench. And quite frankly, I just don't feel like it's worth it this close to the end of the pack to do that. So let's go ahead and put that in there, and looks like we're at 320, so we're a third of the way there. So I'm gonna finish this up real quick. And there we go, 1,024 circuit boards are now done. So let's see here, what is the next ingredient that we're gonna need here for this? Plastic plates we've already got, not a big problem. The plutonium RTG, this is going to be a problem. So what I have gone and done so that we can get plutonium 238 faster is I actually started making HEU 233 fuel. Now, the reason why I'm making this is because after this goes through the fission reactor, the result of that gives us 32 Neptunium 236 to only 8 Neptunium 237. And as we know, that's one of the 2 ways to get that Neptunium. The other way gives us 32 236 and 8 237. So to have a balance of these 2 so that it's about even, which is what we are aiming for, because we need 4 of one and 5 of the other to make that next level of fuel. This way we're going to have a little bit of extra here. But the bottleneck for our Plutonium 238 remains, let me see here, the fact that this is only coming out very, very slowly from our HEN 236 fuel. This takes like 10 minutes for it to go through my reactor that I've built. So eventually we'll get the depleted fuel, but it isn't happening in a timely fashion. That's a problem. So we're just gonna have to wait a very, very long time for that to eventually come into our system. Now, while we are waiting for that, let's start working on a couple of these other remaining tasks. I'm gonna start with the power to the portal. Now, that one is relatively easy. I went ahead and made us a task screen so we can insert power into it. Again, it's just gonna take a while to do this, but it's really just our quest book wrapped in stone, and that gives us a task screen. So if we teleport back over here to our nuclear facility and put down our task screen on this conduit, I think we can connect this up. Maybe it's because the direction it's facing. Ah, there we go. Okay. So now can we tell it to insert only? And we want this one. Well, let's set the task, but it doesn't look like it's getting any power into it. We have to look at this for a second. Oh, never mind. Look, the power is going up, and it's going up relatively rapidly. We're already at a third of a billion, so 3%. So that's going to keep ticking away, and because we're doing a lot of power production, that should eventually get us where we're going. We just need to let it do its thing. So that's cool. We're just going to let that hang out. So while that power is going, while our plutonium is being generated, that only leaves us with the portal coolants. Now, the helium is the one that worries me because we don't have a way of getting liquid helium yet. So how do we get helium in this pack? Liquid helium from one of these? Fluid extractor, centrifuge, supercooler. Oh. Okay, so we need a helium collector. And it looks like we have 3 tiers of helium collectors that we can make, and these are made with zirconium. So earlier I had planned that we were going to need zirconium, so I did set up a rock crusher with our diorite here between episodes in preparation, and it looks like we have a decent amount of zirconium already. So let me grab up all of the zirconium that we've made so far. So let's just go ahead and drop it into our redstone furnaces here and get this cooking up. And it looks like this one actually, we need to pull off our flux augment as well. So let's do that. Put the rest in here, and those should go really quickly to make the zirconium now. Okay, while that's cooking, we're going to grab up all of the thorium-230 that we have on hand, which is a decent amount. And then the only other thing we need to do is go back and grab our basic plating. Now, we have plenty of basic plating because our basic plating kept running over. Let's just grab one more stack there. Yeah, okay, so we've got a lot of basic plating now after that's been running in the background forever. So with those bits and our zirconium here, let's grab all that we've made so far, and we should be able to make our helium collector. So let's see how many of these we can make. Okay, great. So that's a decent number, and then we can take those and combine them with our bronze ingots and make the next tier of them. Great, and now we have 9 of those. Now with 9 of these, actually we only need 8. Combined it, and there's our dense helium collector, and I think that's the top layer. So yeah, we actually made more than we needed of our helium collectors here. So that's fine. We can string these together and use the extra ones. That's not really a problem here. So let's see here. This just gets power, and with power it makes helium. And then we need to store our helium in something, and I think I have some dynamic tanks left. There's a reinforced portable tank filled with corium. Yeah, that's from the meltdown. So let's just take this portable tank, and we're going to go ahead and fill that with helium. Now we need a good place for this because we are going to need to cool it. So I think we go over here in our nuclear craft facility down, whoops, here. And we should install it somewhere in this region. Maybe we put it on the back side of where we've got everything else processing. I think that's a fine place for it here. Let's put our dense helium collector here. And is that... Oh, it doesn't look like it needs power. It's just doing the thing. So since that doesn't need power, maybe we pull that off. Okay, for whatever reason, you need to actually put the portable tank directly on here. It's not going to let the Ender IO conduits work, so this works fine, but I am going to need to upgrade it if we're going to do that. And now it has a amount of helium, a good amount of helium in it, so we can live with this. Now, this needs to go into a cooler, I believe. So let's see here, helium to make liquid helium. We need a super cooler? Yeah, it looks like a super cooler. And a super cooler we need to make with advanced plating, magnesium diboride, whatever that is, servo mechanism, advanced plating we know how to make, hard carbon we know how to make, machine chassis we know how to make. How do we make magnesium whatever? Oh, magnesium and boron. Okay, that's super, super easy. So 1 magnesium to 2 boron, and we only need 1 of those. All right, and we just drop in our magnesium and we drop in our boron, and that should give us, yeah, the magnesium diboride immediately. With that in hand, let's go ahead and grab up some of our hard carbon alloy, and now we should be able to make our super cooler. Make a servo mechanism really quick here, and then we have our super cooler. Easy enough. We'll just take these extra items that we have left over. Perfect. So let's teleport back over here. And let's see, let's put the super cooler there, and let's see if our fluid pipes will work in this instance. We should be able to extract from here and insert into here. Oh, and it looks like it's working already. Okay, so that should turn it into liquid helium for us. We just need liquid helium buckets or a fluid infuser. Okay. And a fluid infuser we make with a machine chassis and servo... Okay, so all stuff that we also already have. So let's grab that up real quick. There's our servo mechanism. And then there's our fluid infuser. Okay, great. Okay, so before we can do anything with our fluid filler, our fluid infuser, we need to make a bunch of these empty coolers. Now, I tried to do this automatically with the machine inventory manager from the Super Factory Manager. It was not working. I don't know why, I don't know what the deal is, but for whatever reason, it does not want to craft these coolers for me. So instead, we're gonna have to do this by hand. It'll take me a couple of minutes here, maybe a couple of seconds. So basically, we just want to maximize our production here. So we're just gonna do the shift clicking, and we're just gonna keep doing the shift clicking. And you know what, we don't even wanna do this way. We want to instead use a crafting table because this only does 1 at a time when you're doing the storage remote. So let's grab up our wood here real quick. Just make ourselves a crafting table. Now, a crafting bench also would be, or excuse me, crafting station would also be appropriate here, but the crafting station doesn't connect to storage drawers, so it doesn't really give us any benefit, but we'll make one just because I like it. I think it looks neat. All right, so there is 64 of those, and now we need to keep making a bunch more. Okay, so we've got 2048 there, and a little bit extra here. We have a whole stack of empty coolers and then 22 more to spare. So this should be plenty for what we are needing to do. So we'll go ahead and put our fluid infuser on the other side of our super cooler, and let's just try a regular cable here and see if this will work. A low pressure cable. We'll extract from there and we will insert into here, and with any luck this will be, yeah, slowly filling with liquid helium. And then all we have to do is dump our stack of liquid coolers in here, and that should eventually turn it into our helium cooling tanks. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need to make is the Enderium Coolers. Now, I made a bunch of these previously for our nuclear factory, but not to this scale, and we're going to need 1,000 of them. Is that right? Is that really right? 1,000 of them? Yeah, 1,000 Enderium, 1,000 Cryotheum. Okay, so same as before, let's put down a crafting station. We'll grab up a couple of stacks of these and a couple of stacks of Enderium. And we're going to start crafting these up manually. So again, this is another one of those exercises that's going to take a while. So I probably just need to edit this out and come back once we have it all done. So back in a flash. Okay, and that should be the last of those. Okay, there's 1,000. So we just have to grab all these up into our hand to get credit for the quest. There we go. And we just are going to put that back into our drawer. Wonderful. So let's remove that from our shopping list. Now we need to do the same thing with Cryotheum. And thankfully this should be a lot easier because we are producing a lot of Cryotheum dust over in our other facility. So let's gather up our supplies and go over there. Okay, so as you all saw in the previous episodes, our Cryotheum production is automated over here. So I'm just going to need to turn this off so that this drawer stops having all of its ingredients sucked out immediately. But we have a huge backlog of Blizz rods. So this shouldn't take long to craft up. So let me do that through the magic of editing. Okay, so the last few of these, there we go, 1,000 exactly. Let's drop off all the rest of our ingredients. And then we just need to fill our inventory with these until, yeah, there's the quest. Perfect. So now we can catch all of these up and we'll go back and check on our helium in a minute, but not quite ready to do that yet. The next thing that we need here for this same quest, the coolers quest, is these thermal mediators. And for that, we need a bunch of device frames, redstone servos, etc. Redstone servos are easy, device frames are easy. So yeah, let's make up a bunch of those real quick. So we need 1,000 each of those and 2,000 iron gears and 2,000 invar. All right, great. So let's go check our stores here at our auto crafter and see if we can go ahead and make that. Okay, so we actually only need 100, not 1,000. I got my counting wrong there. So let's go ahead and start with our redstone servo. Easy enough. Let's do 100 of those. Slowly but surely coming in there. And now what's the other thing that this needs? A device frame. So we've taught how to make device frames here as well. So let's make 100 of those. And there's the last of our iron gears coming in that I've also auto-crafted. And now we should be able to make as many of these thermal mediators as we want. So there's a stack and there's 36 more. Okay, and there's our 100 thermal mediators. That was really not too bad. Okay, so we, after a long session of fluid infusing, have now got our 100 portal coolers. So that task is now completely done. While we were doing that, we also got all of our 10 billion FE into our energy requirement. So that's done. So everything is now done here except for one little thing, 1,000 quantum probes. We already have the circuit boards, we already have the plastic plates, we already have the basic plating, we have the graphite. What we are missing is the plutonium. So while I was waiting for all of that, what have we done about the plutonium? Well, I created this huge, massive new reactor. It's a 9x9, and it is indeed water cooled. Now, the water cooling doesn't seem to be doing an especially good job, even though 85% of the blocks inside of this are water cooling blocks. Again, I use that same calculator that I linked to in the previous video to build this. But I still have to run this redstone loop to turn off the heat because it's overheating really, really quickly. For whatever reason, that cooling rate just cannot keep up. But it is actually going through these very quickly. Technically, it's only taking, about 15 seconds to go through a piece of the Hen 236 fuel. That's down from about 2.5 minutes of the reactor next to it. So that's a massive improvement, but it takes a little while longer because it's turning off and turning on and turning off and turning on. Now, even with all of that, we are not near where we need to be. This has been running for a couple of hours, and let me show you where we are at. Unfortunately, we are still way, way back here with regard to our plutonium 238. at less than 100 pieces. That's abysmal. That is the only way to get plutonium-238 in this entire pack, and that's it. That's how we do it, is with that machine. And there's no other way to get this. There's no other way to speed this up. I have these cranked up for our isotope separators and all of our making of our fuel. You can see we still have a lot more Hen 236 fuel, but the rate at which this is coming in is just going to be ridiculously sad. So friends, it's time to have a conversation. So look, we have spent hours in this pack. We've probably spent over 100 hours in this pack, I would say, at this point, between building stuff, crafting stuff, creating stuff, and this is the only remaining thing between us and completing the pack. And I'm going to be frank with you all, I play these games to have fun. I don't play these games to leave my computer running in the background for a week at a time. I don't find that to be fun. So we are going to do something that I very, very rarely do. We are going to shamelessly cheat. Yes, I'm saying it right now. I'm admitting it. This is just, we're at an impasse here. There's no way forward. And quite frankly, if you all are a mod pack author, I hope you will take this to heart. Having your game make it so that people are just leaving their computer running in the background is not fun. That is not enjoyable for anyone involved. So what we're going to do to complete this pack is cheat in this last item. I feel like we've given it a good shot. We've completed everything else basically by hand that we've had to create in this entire chain, and to be stuck at this one point where I'm just going to have to leave my game running while I go out of the house for a few days doesn't sound like a good time. So that's what we're doing, folks. We're cheating in the last items that we need. Okay, so there we go. We've now cheated. So there is all of our plutonium in that container there. So now what we have to do is put all of this stuff together. So let's go ahead and do a couple of things here. First things first, let's grab up this plutonium box. Again, I'm sure this is a very, very safe storage container for the plutonium. Okay, so now we have the plutonium that we need for our plutonium RTG. Let's go grab up our box of basic plating and our box of graphite, and we can add those to our collection here. Okay, so there's all of our ingredients. We're just going to start grabbing these up and combining them into our system here to make all of these plutonium RTG. And there we go. A little over 1,000 of those. Perfect. So with those in hand, we can now add our plastic plates and our circuit boards and use that to make the next ingredient, our quantum probe. So let's go ahead and make a bunch of those, and we need a storage container for it. So let's put that down here. Perfect. Turn that around real quick. There we go. And there's some quantum probes. So I'm going to keep at making quantum probes now for the next few minutes. So here we go. Okay, a little more than we need, but there we go. 1,024 quantum probes. Great. That is the last of the quests now that we've cheated. And so we now can make our home portal. So let's see. It's a simple item, and we activate it by right-clicking it. Okay, so this is it. This is the home portal. Well, friends, this is it. This is the end of this mod pack at long last. I know we got a little cheaty there at the end, but I think this has been an exciting adventure. You can see all of the massive construction that we've done behind us there. I wish I'd spent a little more time on the architecture before leaving this world and, you know, putting up some walls and stuff, but this has been an astonishingly fun pack. So thanks again for watching us here on Enterprise Architecture, and we'll see you back here next time for the next mod pack. Bye, friends. What the f-